this time that we're in right now, I think it's more important than ever that we recognize how important it is to have other people around us. And I want you to start by picturing with me a guy with a pickup truck. And I'm from Georgia, I'm from the South, and so we have a lot of guys with pickup trucks around here. But I want you to picture the pickup truck with a whole bunch of stuff in the back. And one of the, we've all seen them, they're driving down the road and it is just filled with junk and miscellaneous, and it's all just balanced precariously, all about to fall out. I picture some guy taking ropes, throwing them over, trying to keep everything contained. And that's an image that I used when I did my TEDx talk last year, because I think that it's something we all resonate with. We all have all these things in our lives that we are just trying to hold together and contain. And that's physically, but that's mentally and emotionally as well. And if you picture that guy, if you picture yourself with all those things in the back that you're trying to contain, you've got ropes, you're throwing them all over, you're tying them down, and a lot of times you end up tying ropes together because they're just not quite long enough to contain everything that's back there. And we end up tying all these knots in our life. And all of us are leaders to one degree or another, whether you're a leader of a lot of people, a business, an organization, a corporate team, or you're just trying to lead your family. We all have these areas of our life that we're tying knots together, just trying to hold it all down. Because the worst thing you can imagine is you're driving down the road and one of those knots breaks and everything just gets strewn along the road behind you. But there's a problem with knots. And you may not realize this, but knots, whenever a knot is tied in a rope, it instantly weakens the rope, usually by 20 to 40%. But as soon as a knot is tied in a rope, it instantly weakens the rope. And if a rope is strained to the point where it breaks, it will always, always, always fail at the knot. And on top of that, when a rope is under repeated dynamic stress, it will always fail at the knot. A knot will always break if you put it under enough repeated dynamic stress. And I don't know about you, but this seems like a time when there's constant repeated and dynamic stress in a lot of people's lives. But the approach that we take is to continue to try to do it ourselves. And if you think back to almost any ancient civilization or organization or a country or people group, in ancient days, they actually used banishment as a form of death. One of the worst things that they could do to you is to send you out on your own. And they knew that if we wanted to kill someone, we will send them out alone and separate them from everybody else. And so if we stick briefly with that example of a knot in our life, if we do have these things that we're trying to hold together, if we do have these things we're trying to tie down, there's actually a better way to join ropes together. And that's called a splice. And a splice is where you actually take two ends of a rope, you unravel them a little bit, some vulnerability has to take place there. You weave the ends of the rope together, and it actually is a way of joining ropes together that maintains every bit of a rope's true strength. And so for us, as we're going through this part of our life, as we're going through challenges that you're probably going through right now, one of the most important things we can be doing is finding other people around us that we can splice our lives together with, that we can actually go through this entire process, not just the current situation that may be going on right now, but our entire life, understanding that I'm better when I have other people around me. But what I think gets lost, though, is what those people should look like. And that's one of the things in my talk last year that I didn't quite get to, and I've had a lot of people asking me about it. It's like, all right, I got it. I need to have other people around me, but who should they be? And even that famous quote that we're the average of the 5 people we surround ourselves with, that's all well and good, but what should those people look like? And I believe that there are 4. I believe that there are 4 people in our lives that we should surround ourselves with. But before I get to them, one of the things that we have to take into consideration is there's always a balance between surrounding ourselves with people that are like us and surrounding ourselves with people that are not like us. And I believe there's a place for both. If all you do is surround yourself with people that you don't share values with, and you don't share common goals and beliefs and again, values, you're going to set yourself up for a pretty miserable life. So it's okay to have people around you that you identify with. That's part of our human condition, is that we want to surround ourselves with people that are like us. And there is value in that. But at the same time, we have to be careful not to just surround ourselves with people that are like us, because there are other people that bring things to the table that we don't. And I use an example. One of the things I talk about when I do corporate workshops, and we talk about teams and team development, is one of the biggest things that you can grab hold of is the fact that someone that has a skill set and a personality set that's not like yours brings something incredibly valuable to the table. And I use the example in my own life of, for me, one of the things that I'll use the word hate, and I don't use that word lightly, but one of the things that I hate more than anything else is accounting. It just the word sends chills up and down the back of my neck, like numbers and spreadsheets, and I just want to, I just can't take it. But one of the things that I appreciate the most is accountants, because they not only do something that I don't do well, but they enjoy it. So there are going to be aspects of your life, aspects of what's going on, that it's one thing to think that that's something that I understand as an important thing, as a valuable thing, but I can bring people into my life that add something that I don't. So it's one thing to keep in mind as we talk about these 4 types of people that we should all be surrounding ourselves with, is yes, having some people around you that are like you, that have shared goals, visions, dreams, and mindsets, but also recognizing there need to be people in your life that bring something to the table that you don't. So the 4 types of people that you should be surrounding yourself with, most likely as I talk about these, you're going to identify very closely with 1 or 2 of them. And that's okay. But these are 4 types of people. And the first one, if we use the analogy of driving along the road, whether you've got a pickup truck with a whole bunch of stuff in it or not, these are also people you could picture being with you on a road trip, which we haven't been doing a lot of, but picture yourself going on a road trip. And one of the things you need, one of the people you need around you, is a driver. You need someone not just that has control of your life. That's not what I'm saying. You need people in your life that see the value of accomplishing goals, that see the value of, here's what we're going after. What are the objectives that we have? Where are we going? When are we trying to get there? If you picture a dad that's, get in the car, kids, we're not stopping until we get there. There should be people in your life that push you and drive you, that actually say, don't do that, or do that. That people that can actually give you a kick in the pants sometimes when you need it. When you're sitting around and you're not quite sure what to do, or you're making a mistake, you need people in your life that will actually tell you the truth and be honest with you and push you forward. You need people around you that will drive you. You also need people, though, that will help you with the map. So if you are on that road trip, you do need someone around you that understands the value and the need for having a plan. That not only is going to help push you towards your objective, to help you get there faster, to push their foot down on the gas pedal, but someone that knows, here's how we're going to get there. We're going to go this way. And then we're going to take a left at the gas station. And then we'll go 5 miles and we're going to take a right. And you need someone that has that level of planning built into their DNA. And for some of you that resonates with think, hey, that's me already. other people, that's not your natural tendency. And so you need people around that can actually be an example. And these shouldn't be people in your life that are picking up the map for the first time. So it's not someone that just got handed a roadmap, and we don't use a lot of road maps lately. It's more GPS than anything. But I used to love, even as a kid, having that big Rand McNally Atlas map of the states as you were going on road trips. But it shouldn't be someone that just got handed a map and now they're trying to tell you how to get there. The person with the plan should be someone that's gone there already. They should be an expert, maybe a mentor, maybe someone that can say, yes, here's the mistakes I made, here's the wrong turns that I made, here's the errors that I made over the course of my life, here's how we can keep some of those from happening in yours. The third person that you need to make sure that is in your life, though, is someone that actually probably battles a little bit with that last person, and that's the person that's always watching for possibilities. The person that understands that there's a reason that the windshield in your car is this big and the rear view mirror is this big. Someone that is looking out the window, that is seeing new possibilities, that is looking ahead, that is looking for new ways of doing things. Because without that person in your life, you may have the planner, you may have the map, but it's like that scene in The Office where they're driving along following the GPS, and they end up taking a ride. It's like, yeah, the GPS says turn right. And the other guy says, no, but there's a lake there. No, but the GPS says to turn right. And they turn right and they go right into a lake. It's important to have a plan. It's important to have a process to walk through, to walk out. But you need to have people around you and people in your life that can actually bring new possibilities into it. New ways of doing things, new ways of looking at the situation and the scenarios. And so, be perfectly honest, I'm not much of the first two that we talked about. I'm not much of a driver. I'm not much of a, we got to have everything planned out, but it's why I coach. Because it's one of the things that I get to do is to bring new possibilities to people, to ask questions that make them think of things in ways that they haven't. But even for me, even though that's one of my natural tendencies, I have to have people around me that do that for me. It's one of the reasons coaches always have coaches. It's because they see the value in it. Some of the highest achieving people in the world understand the value of having people that provide perspectives that they haven't thought of and haven't considered. And then finally, the fourth person, that's the three. You need the driver, you need someone that's pushing forward, that's always moving forward towards their goals. You need someone with a roadmap, someone with experience that's actually gone that way before that you can follow. You need someone bringing new possibilities and new ways of thinking in the mix. Then you always need that person, you need them on a road trip too, that's just there for support, that's there to ask, how are you? And on a practical sense, on a road trip, it's the person that's asking, do we need to stop for the bathroom? Do we need to turn the music down? Do we need to get some snacks? Is it time to eat now? How's the air conditioning back there? You need people in your life that are actually going to ask, how are you? How are you doing? You need people that can just listen. It's helpful to have that first person I mentioned to push you forward. But there are times in your life when you need people around you that can just ask how you are. They can just listen. They may not hand you the roadmap right now. That may not be what you need. They may not need to think of 19 different ways of looking things or 17 different possibilities or upending your whole world. Your whole world might have been upended already. And so if we have a life where we have those people around us, we can ensure that the steps forward that we're taking, the journey that we're on, that we're all going on, nothing is being missed. Nothing's being left out. We have direction and a goal that we're heading towards. We have someone that can actually show us the way of how to get there, that can walk us through a plan and a process and a way of doing things. We have people around us that can give those new insights, that can look at new possibilities, that can look at new ways of doing things. And then you have people in your life that are just there. that are just there as a support and a resource, someone to hear you out, someone to just be a shoulder to lean on. So if you've bought into that in your own life, that we can't do this alone, that's awesome. If not, I feel for you, because knots, the other thing about knots is that they always fail eventually. When there's enough repeated stress on a knot, it's going to fail. And so if you're that guy or girl watching this that has that metaphorical pickup truck with all those things piled high inside that you're just trying to hold together, the next step is to look at those people around you and make sure you have those 4 people in your life. Make sure you have people that are providing those 4 different perspectives. If you don't, look for them. And my best advice is to the people that are around you. Ask them. If you don't have anybody around you, look for them. Because you may tell yourself that, yes, I looked for them, but you may not have known who you were looking for. So as you are looking at the people around you, whether it's a lot or a little, look for those 4 people in your life. Look for the people that can drive forward and that are pushing ahead, that are driven and really going after it. Look for the people that have a plan, that are cautious, that are walking this out step by step. Look for people that have new insights and perspectives and ways of doing things. And then look for the person that's just going to be there and listen. They're out there, and you'll find them. Thank you, guys.